Welcome to episode 2 of Community Game Development on the Fragdolls Twitch.tv channel. I apologize for the slight delay. We had a little bit of technical difficulty in setting up, which is totally my bad. so, uh, sorry about that. Sorry for the wait, but we'll make it up to you guys. This is a really cool episode.
We
So,
heard
my
some.
name.
There's some really good jokes in chat while we were waiting.
Oh, jeez. I can't wait to read through them and see for myself.
Yeah.
But as you guys may know, I am Kim, aka Saber from the Frag Dolls, and I co-host the show with Carrie, my good friend. So say hi, Carrie.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah. So really quickly, in case this is your first time joining us, we wanted to explain kind of what the show is about. So community game development is a show, a live stream show, as you guys can see, and it's based on two key ideas. So the first is to provide a fun, interactive way for people to learn about game development coding. So we look at the source code of the games that we create. Actually, Carrie creates it. I can't take any, I don't know,
Ah, you help.
stuff for that.
You
You
do.
do all the
You do.
coding.
Yeah, you do all the testing. You help out a lot, and the community helps out a lot as well. We get a lot of input from the community.
That's very
It's
true. Very true. But we look at the source code and we explain the different sections of the code, what they mean. We kind of define game development concepts and ideas and things like that throughout the show. And then the second idea is to foster a community of game developers that can meet up and create games together. So, for example, if someone in the stream today could provide a piece of artwork for the game, then we'll put that in it, or we will take people's pieces of code, things like that, and we'll implement it all into one game, and then we will create a game together. So it's kind of like on the fly live game creation. So if there's something that you want to see done in the game that we're coding with today, just type it in chat and let us know. And let me change my scene here really quickly. I have a new scene for you guys. See? This is how you can download the things that you need to code along with us. So there are three key things that you're going to need. The first is Visual Studio C Sharp Express 2010. I have a bit.ly link right there. If you type that in, it'll take you right to the site where you can go and download that. It's free. It's the first piece that you need. You need to download and install that. I think first. It's the first one that you have to install in the chronological order. Is that right, Carrie?
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. And then the second thing is Microsoft XNA Game Studio 4.0. So go to that tiny link right there. So I will put the clickable links in chat as soon as I'm done. And then, yeah, so download C Sharp Express 2010, download Microsoft XNA Game Studio next, and then go to comgamedev.com/forum and find the source code for today. So
Hmm.
you just go under episodes and then May 2013. And Carrie, you put up the code like a couple of days ago or earlier today, but it's definitely up there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
download that and then follow along with us, and you can code right
Yeah.
along with Carrie.
There's also some people were having problems installing XNA last time round, and we found there was a problem with Windows 8. There's an extra component they need to install before they install XNA on Windows 8. I believe it's the Games Windows Live client that they need to install in order to actually build, and some people actually installed everything fine, but then when they tried to run the game they ran into issues, but some people couldn't even install until they had that client installed. So there's a link to that on the forums as well. If you guys run into any other problems with anything, whether it's installing it or running the code, let us know and we'll try and fix it for you.
Absolutely. Um, and if you have issues, Carrie, where can they talk to us?
They can talk to us either through Twitter. We have our Com Game Dev account. Um, they could even follow one of us on Twitter and ask us. I am redcoat_Kez on Twitter, and you are Saber FD on
I'm Saber
Twitter.
underscore FD. Yeah, but on the stream, you can see we have a little overlay at the bottom there. It says exactly who you can follow for us, or just follow
Yep,
Com Game Dev on Twitter,
yep,
and we'll be able to talk to you on there. And then
yep,
we also have the forums, right? That's where
yep.
Carrie is mostly active on.
Yeah, you guys can go to our website, comgamedev.com. There's a link to our forums there. You guys can ask questions, and I do check the forums periodically, usually at least once a day, and I'll answer any questions that I can. If you guys have any technical issues, I'll definitely do my best to take care of those. Yeah.
Definitely. Um, and in terms of for the rest of or the way that the rest of the episode will go is we will talk through the source code a little bit. Carrie will give you an overview of what's going on, maybe some key concepts that we'll discuss in the code for today's game, which is Snake, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw at the top of our screen it says Snake for Community Game Development Episode 2. So we'll talk about that. And if we ask for you guys to submit anything, whether it be artwork or code or ideas, things like that, if you can't submit it in chat, we ask you that you please email us. Just go to comgamedev@gmail.com, send us your submissions. We love it when we get new artwork or new pieces of code, anything to implement into the game live so we can show it on the live stream as we talk about it. So be sure to do that. And then we also have well, we're gonna okay. So last month we showcased Pong, which is a lot of fun, and we had a little AI Pong game going on in the corner, and we had you guys guess what the top score would be for the winning side, and it was a lot of fun. And we had people tweet at us. So this time around, we wanted to do something a little bit different. So Carrie wrote a really nice version of Snake for us to play, and he played for half an hour to try to get a really high score, and he recorded his gameplay, which I will be showing first. So we'll show a half an hour of his gameplay, and we'll see his top score. And then I did the same thing. I played for half an hour, and I tried to get a top score. So our challenge to you guys is if you could tweet at us, and we want you to say or tell us who wins and with what top score. And if you guess correctly, or at least close to, then you will win a prize. So be ready to do that. Oh, and don't forget to include hashtag CGDSnake. So keep that in mind as we move forward. And actually, you know what? I'm going to start your gameplay right now. Is it okay, Carrie?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Sweet. Okay, I hit play on that, so hopefully it'll start showing up. There we go. I see it. I see it on the stream.
Yeah.
And I think they will soon too. So that's Carrie's
Yeah.
gameplay. He, I think, does a pretty awesome job. Uh, so we'll see. We'll see who gets the
You
highest
see
score.
the
So you guys
elite
let us know.
skills.
Mhm.
I also mess up a lot. I die a lot. I do.
Oh my gosh, I do too. And you know what's funny is I do the thing where I get like really close and I'll like make a corner
Yeah.
around the apple, and it's just
Oh yeah.
frustrating as anything when you don't hit it. It's so frustrating. But
Yeah.
anyway, so some quick reminders. This show is geared toward novice slash intermediate developers who maybe don't know as much about game development or just want to learn. So probably in these first couple of episodes, we will do some basic games, and we won't try to build a game from the ground up, at least not yet. But we want to in the future branch out to more advanced game code and coding techniques. So keep that in mind for this episode and any of our future episodes. And then the show is meant to be interactive, so type your questions, give us ideas, comments in chat, and send us content when we ask for it to comgamedev@gmail.com. I think
All
that's everything I had to say.
right. Yeah.
So that's a lot.
So maybe we should start out with a quick review of Pong. We gave you guys a challenge. Well, we did a couple of challenges last episode. And I think we're going to extend them a little bit. Give you guys a bit more time. Let me open up Pong. I don't know if you guys can you guys see my desktop right now?
They can now.
All right. So they didn't see the epic Bing picture of horses because Bing changes my desktop every few seconds, and I had a really, really masculine picture of horses a few seconds ago, right as we started. But yeah,
I spared you that. I didn't show.
okay.
I didn't show that.
So in our Pong game, if I just zoom in. So challenge. Well, we had two challenges. We had an art challenge and we had a programming challenge. So the art challenge, we've got these three art files, and this is probably the section of the screen that's too small to read, but we've got background.png, ball.png, and paddle.png. And if I run the game, this was as it was at the start of the episode last time. You can see the background is just the big black rectangle in the background. The ball is obviously the smaller square that the paddles are going to interact with, and the paddles, you can see the two rectangles. If you guys submit art for this, we're actually looking for a Fragdoll themed version of this, and all you really need to do is just change those three image files. In fact, if you just submit three image files, we'll put them in the game, and you don't even have to submit code for this one. Just submit us three image files, one called background PNG, one called ball PNG, and one called paddle PNG. And yeah, we'll showcase the best ones. The the other thing we were going to do, well, we've said is the challenge, is make 4-player Pong. That one's a little bit more complicated, but we did show, I think we showed everything last time round that you guys need to make that happen. Also, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ping us on the forums and we'll get you up and running. If there's something that you're almost there, but you can't quite figure out why something isn't working, we'll help you out. We don't want to give you the answer, but we'll help you out. I wanted to show off some things from last month. You'll notice there's a lot of green, a lot of comments in this code. There's not going to be as many comments from now on. There's still a lot of comments in this month's code, but I think every other line in here is a comment. In fact, more than every other line in here is a
Yeah, you have a
comment.
lot of comments in this first
Yeah.
one.
So we're going to try and scale back the comments a little bit. There's still a lot of comments in this month, but not nearly as much as last month. Also, something else I did that I'll point out when I pull up the snake code. Inside our setup function, what we do here in Pong inside setup. Let me just pull it up. So we actually have this reset game function that gets called by setup. And this is where we do all our code initialization. We still have a reset game. I was actually looking for the setup function. Where is it? Okay, here it is. So inside here, where we call the reset game, we also load our textures. All the sprites that we use, all the sprites only get reset once. And if we wanted to change the sprites in the game, we'd have to basically restart the game. I've changed this a little bit, and I'll point that out now. Actually, let's just go right across into Snake now. Let me pull up the Snake code. So those of you that have already downloaded it can follow along with me.
I don't even think I have the source code, which is bad. I just have the code that you gave to me for our
Yeah.
challenge.
Okay, so in this one, if I go to the setup function here, here we go. So we have this refresh assets function. And this is where we load all our textures. If I search for refresh assets, so we load all our textures in here. And we have the same, well, we don't have the same textures, but we have the same setup as last time with all our different textures. And what we can do is we can actually call this refresh assets anytime we want and give it a different index, and it will just load the assets right then. It doesn't have to actually restart the game. So you'll see probably the significance of this when people send us some art. This will make a lot more sense. And yeah, I'm kind of rambling a little bit. So yeah, we'll give you guys an example when we've got some art that we want to switch out. So speaking of art, well, let me show you what the art in this game looks like.
Yeah.
For those of you who haven't seen it yet, this was my amazing art job. I am the best at drawing white rectangles in paint. No one can come close to my drawing white rectangles in paint skills. It's amazing.
Best painter NA.
Yeah. So this is what our game looks like right now. And I died with final score of 5. Okay. So we've got CGD background. Well, CGD underscore background is what we called it. We've got the font that we draw the text with. CGD fonts. CGD font.sprite font, which is really just an XML file we can edit. We've got CGD underscore fruit.png, CGD underscore segment.png, CGD underscore wallx.png, and CGD underscore wally.png. That was a big mouthful. So the important thing, we've got background, segment, fruit, wallx, wally. Then up here inside the code, we've got this array of game assets, and you can see it's only got one element in it right now, the CGD. So what I'd like to try this time around, if you guys are going to submit art to us, we've got background, fruit, segment, wall X, wall Y. You can submit any one or all of those files. If you want to replace all of those files, you can replace all of them, or you can replace just a couple. If you don't replace all of them, it will just pull in the art that I've got. So if you just want to do the background, you can do the background, and then it'll just use my crazy programmer art for the rest of it. If you want to do all, go ahead and do all of them. Um, but we've got this naming convention. So CGD underscore background is a background file. What I want you guys to do when you submit stuff, call it the exact same thing, but replace CGD with something that represents you. So you could do redcoat cares underscore background instead of CGD underscore background. Or you could do Kerry underscore background, or Joe underscore background, or epic background underscore background. Just something that represents your art asset, something that will identify your art assets. And yeah, just keep it the same for all the files you submit. So do Kerry underscore background, Kerry underscore fruit, Kerry underscore segment. Um, but yeah, make sure you keep the underscore background underscore fruit part in there, and that's how will load your images. So yeah, one more time, we've got cgd underscore background.png, cgd underscore fruit.png, cgd underscore segment.png, cgd underscore wallx.png, and cgd underscore wally.png. Okay, and also all of these files will be resized in code. The only one that you need to worry about, the only one that's a fixed size, is the background, which is 1024 by 768. Everything else will be stretched or shrunk to the size that we need it. Okay, so run the game again, and everyone's familiar with Snake, right? Everyone knows how Snake works. You just move around this arena, collecting the fruit there. And as you collect the fruit, your snake grows bigger, and the object is to not hit yourself and not hit the walls in the arena. And when you do, it's always tough to get the fruits on the edges, but yeah, when you do, game over, and you get a final score. So let me show you some of the organization I did in the code here. I actually put everything that has a default value. I made it a const and set its value in this section here. We've got this const variable section, and pretty much everything that you can tweak is tweakable in here. Like this is like you could make a brand new game just by switching out values here, just by changing this 15 to a 16, this 10 to a 25. I don't know. Uh, and yeah, it just if you guys have the code, feel free to experiment, change values. Let's see what happens if I change the segment width from 15 to say 10, and the segment height 15 to 10. I run the game. You can see it runs a lot smaller now. I think I started with 10 when I first wrote the code, and I was like, we can fit, like, this is way too big for, like, it's too small for the screen. We can make it bigger. And
That's what you started with?
yeah, but I had the arena actually bigger. So what I did, so I've got 10 and 10 for the segment width, segment height, and then I think I had something like 90 for the arena width, and I have I think 50 for the arena height. So I started out with something like this, and I figured this is way too big. So we can actually make the arena smaller, and if we make the arena smaller, then we can make everything bigger. Like make the arena smaller and make it just enlarged on the screen. So yeah, you can change the segment width and segment height. If we just change one of these, we probably get a bit of a skewed sort of looking game. Yeah, it's very DOS kind of looking.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? You're doing the same thing where you can't hit it. It's so
Yeah, yeah.
frustrating.
And it's even harder when your snake isn't when your segments aren't square. It's like you move a lot faster up and down,
Oh, yeah, you do.
X and Y. But then you do on the X-axis, I should say. Um,
That's a pretty fun way to change it up, where instead of just increasing the speed in general, like you go faster in certain directions versus
yeah,
all directions.
yeah. And of course, what's really happening is you're not really moving faster in that direction. It's just as far as the the blocks, the squares go in the game. You're not actually moving more squares, but because the squares are bigger in one direction, it looks like you're moving more squares.
Hmm.
So yeah, you can do that. It feels a little weird to me to play like that, so I'm going to change that back. But that's something you can play around with. Initial snake size 10. So this is what we set when we create our snake. This is how we populate it. This is how many squares we start out with. So I can change this to 2, and we have a very small snake.
Oh, it's so cute. Oh, it looks like it's moving so fast, so maybe that's
Yeah.
just me. But wow.
So let's do 50. Let's see how this looks. Yeah, so you can see the snake starts out a lot bigger.
Oh, it's already hard. Man.
Yeah. So that's a couple of ways we can change to get, like, you could put this up ridiculously high. 500. I'm going to purposely miss the fruit to see how big
Look at
this.
how long that snake is.
That's what she said.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah, this is our snake.
It's never gonna end.
I don't know. Let's see if we can get him all on the screen before I die.
Oh my goodness.
I'm totally gonna hit a wall before the tail starts moving. Oh no, there we go. So this could be an entirely different game in of itself. Just getting the snake on the screen before you die, or you could even you could make this some number. Well, you probably wouldn't make your game this way, but if you did, you could make this number some number that no one would ever reach. Like if we made this number, oh, it's gonna fail because that's too long to fit inside an integer. That's too big. But this'll do. So there's no possible way that the snake could get. Why is it? Oh, wow, something. That's a weird bug.
Uh-oh. I did not like that.
I think I know what caused that. Um, I don't remember what the number was, but it was probably just a rollover issue.
Hmm.
So yeah, you're actually going to run into the problem of you'll hit a wall before you get the entire snake out. So what you want to do, what you could do is make a game based around that. Is how much of the snake can you get out before you die? Um, Completely different game. It's more like a Tron Light Cycles type game at that point. Um, but it's something you can do very easy with this code base. Yeah, we're not going to have 500. What was it, 10 originally? Yeah, there we go. Segments gained per fruit, 3. This one is probably pretty self-explanatory too. Every time you hit a fruit, you you end up getting 3 new segments. So we could do this 30. And everyone's like, "Oh, this game's easy. Look at how small this snake is." Yeah, well, I'm going to eat this fruit. Wait, I need to stop growing. So yeah, you can really change that up, make the game. I've scored 3 points now, and the snake's already huge. So yeah, it's another way you can tweak the game. Initial snake speed 15. Another pretty obvious one, right? If I do snake speed 5,
Much slower.
yeah, I feel like Chariots of Fire or something should be playing in this. Whereas the opposite end of the spectrum, if we do say 50, this is more of a wow, yeah, this is a Benny Hill type music should be playing.
Holy smokes! Look at it go. That's like master snake trainer mode. Holy smokes!
Yeah,
You at least got 2. That's good.
yeah, I didn't think I'd
That's
get
pretty
two.
good.
So the initial snake X and Y, this is where we spawn our snake from. So if I do, and the direction, this is also kind of related here. I can change direction here to be right, and I can change these to zeros, and then see how the snake comes in from the top corner instead.
Yeah.
That's something we can change. We could make that random if we wanted, or we could. I just had it hard coded for him to start in the kind of not really the middle, but 20 squares in, 20 squares down, and start out going to the left. We can change that to whatever we want to have him start wherever we want. The arena width and arena height, kind of already touched on these. This is how many squares the arena is. So it's 64 squares wide and 32 squares high. So if we change the segment width, segment height, we can get a lot more squares in and make the game huge. Other than that, that's really all the complicated stuff. Well, that's not really even that complicated. That's really all the stuff that you'd be concerned with to just change the basic values of the game, basic properties. Everything else is pretty simple. We've got our setup, update, and draw functions, just like how we had in Pong. We've got our toString function, just like we had in Pong. Let's see, reset game was just like Pong. Refresh assets, I already talked about. That's new, but I already talked about it, and I'll talk about it a little bit more later. Check collision is just a bunch of math that figures out have we hit ourselves, have we hit one of the walls, or have we hit the fruit. If we have hit the fruit, this is where we collect it. So I wanted to point out actually, there's a few areas in this code, and there was one area in Pong that I did this. There's some areas where I've put this warning in here. Could there possibly be a bug here? Now, normally when I put that in, I know there's a bug there. So, yeah, the answer is always yes to could there possibly be a bug here? And then I normally put a hint in there saying what could possibly be the problem and what could be going wrong here. And this is stuff for you guys to think about. If you guys don't really have any ideas about how we could change the game, maybe we'll come back and look at this and try and solve these bugs. But yeah, there's a few bugs in here that I've pointed out, and if you guys want to fix them, then go ahead and it's right there. Just figure it out, and yeah, let us know how you guys get on. So yeah, this is the function where we collect the fruit, we update the score here, and we place a new fruit somewhere in the level. Update input. This is where we check to see if our player input is done. It changes the direction of the snake if we hit WASD, and that happens in here. All the other input, well, I think there's two other keys we can hit. We can hit escape to quit the game, and we can hit space to reset the game. Those don't actually happen in here. This is more about the player input. But yeah, and we've got another potential bug in there. But yeah, that's where we figure out where to change the player's direction. Update snake happens every time the snake moves. So if your snake speed is really slow, this is going to happen maybe once every second if you set the snake speed to 1. That number, where the snake speed was 15, that's actually how many times a second this is happening. So our snake is actually moving 15 squares a second. So yeah, this happens 15 times in a second right now, and we can speed that up. We can slow it down. We can do what we want to change the speed of the snake, but this will happen every time a snake tries to move. And we add our extra segments in here if we need to. If the snake is currently growing, we do that in here. Otherwise, if the snake isn't growing, we just add to the front and pull from the back. And that's really all the code we have for this game. It's another very simple game. You'll notice that in the solution, the only file really that changed, the only code file that changed was Pong game type got pulled out and Snake game type got put in. We still have CGD game and base game type, and those files, I think in CGD game, the only change in here, the only change was, where was it?